this book. Da, da, da. 7 Deadly Sins. Be careful what you ask for. It just might get you. And like I said, I wrote it under the pen name Michael Bishop because I did not think anybody would buy a book from a guy named Dusty Smith. And apparently there was another guy named Michael Bishop out there who was already pretty fucking famous who was not that happy that I wrote a book under his fucking name and let me know about it. But more on that later. The cover here was actually done by my best friend, Stephen McBride, who is the guy I mentioned before, helped me become an atheist. And it's actually me on the front cover. Look at that shit. That's me. I went to the store and I bought a Halloween costume, bought a Halloween fucking mask, and a robe to put on, and like this creepy skeleton glove. But when I got home, I realized they fucked me over and they put 2 left-handed skeleton gloves in there. I didn't even have a fucking matching pair, so I actually only had a glove on my left-hand side. So Stephen had to take a picture of me and then split the picture in half and like duplicate it on the other side. And then on the back, boom, motherfucker. Another picture my friend Stephen took. He's a pretty good photographer. Back in the day when I wanted to be a model and shit. So anyway, I wrote this book when I was a Christian. And it's fucking horrible. It is a fucking awful piece of shit. And I thought I would share with you guys what the story is about. So join me, will you, as Dusty tells you the story of 7 Deadly Sins. So here we go. Chapter 1. Child's Play. So the first stupid chapter is about a dipshit little kid named Raymond Jameson. The artwork was done by Stephen McBride. This is actually a picture of me in a wig that he made line art so he could put it in the book. And basically, the first chapter is about this little Christian boy named Raymond Jameson who goes to a sleepover party with a bunch of dipshit friends. They pull out a Ouija board. He's like, oh, no, not a Ouija board. That's crazy as shit. No thanks, dude. And even though everybody knows Ouija boards are for the devil, all the other kids want to do it. So they taught Raymond into doing the Ouija board, and he does it. And they asked it a bunch of questions. And one of the questions they asked is, who will die first? So the Ouija board says, the host of this party will die first. And so the host freaks out, he punches Raymond, and they get in a fight and shit. So then Raymond figures out the occult is real, and he's like, fuck yes, I need more of that shit. That shit's awesome. So then he goes to the bookstore and buys him the Satanic Bible, which I've actually read, and it's really fucking dorky. But when I wrote this book, I didn't know that. I thought it was all evil and fucked. So the character goes and buys the Satanic Bible from a bookstore and reads that shit and loves it. Next thing you know, Raymond is all involved with a bunch of fucking devil worshippers. Because that's what happens when you read the Satanic Bible. The fucking devil worshippers come and get you and then recruit you into their cult and shit. So basically, Raymond's mom is all Christian and shit. And she knows he's up to no good, but she just prays to Jesus that Jesus will work it out and shit. And unfortunately, Jesus ain't working shit out. Because Raymond goes deeper and deeper into the cult. Until one day, he decided he didn't want to go to church anymore. And his mom was pissed, but she really couldn't do anything about it. So eventually all she said was, God forgive you, son. God forgive you. So from then on, Raymond didn't go to church anymore. He stayed home with his dad, who was also a backsliding motherfucker. And now we're on to number 2. Boom, motherfuckers, the proposition. So it's 7 years later. Fucking Raymond Jameson still practicing the occult and shit. Still involved in devil worship and all that bullshit. But he's bored as shit. And all this time, he's never seen anything else occult ever happen other than the Ouija board shit. And he's like, I need some more. So one night, he's tripping acid, because acid's fucking horrible and only done by devil worshippers. And then the devil comes to him and makes him a fucking deal. It's like the devil went down to Georgia or some shit. So long story short, the devil's like, hey, Raymond, do you want to be the Antichrist? And of course, Raymond's like, fuck yeah, I want to be the Antichrist. So the devil's like, I tell you what, you got to do 7 things for me. Just 7. And if you do 7 things for me, I'll make you my son. You'll be the Antichrist. It'll be fucking awesome. We'll roll over all this shit together. What do you say, dude? And of course, Raymond's like, fuck yeah, let's do this shit. And before we go any further, I know this is bad. Believe me, I understand how fucking bad this is. This is awful. What the fuck was I thinking when I wrote this shit? And you know the really bad thing? I wasn't even on fucking drugs when I wrote this. But look how pretty the book is. Look how fucking pretty this shit is. That's a pretty book. So anyway, chapter 3, Nightlife. This one's fucking awesome. So basically, the first thing the devil tells Raymond to do is go have gay sex with some dude. Because gay sex is one of the worst fucking things you can possibly do in the goddamn world. Obviously, that's the first thing the devil will want you to do. So Johnny goes to this gay bar named Smiley Joe's and finds him some fucking dick. gets fucked in the ass hardcore, so much so his ass even bleeds a little bit. Yes, I wrote that shit. But he's like, oh well, guess I'm a faggot now. It's all good, dude. At least I did the first thing the devil wanted me to do. What's next? So then there's chapter 4. Boom, motherfuckers, true love. So then Raymond's all fucking jazzed about just getting butt fucked. And he's like, what's next? And so the devil's like, hey, I want you to go rape a little girl. And the devil tells him what little girl to go rape. And he fucking does it. He goes and he rapes a little girl. And I wrote this when I was like fucking 16 years old. I'm clearly a sick and disturbed individual. So anyway, he rapes this little girl. And then she goes home and goes fucking nuts and pulls the gas line out of her stove, lets the whole house fill with gas, and then kills herself and her fucking parents. That's fucking lovely. So now we're on to chapter 5. Vengeance is mine, motherfuckers. And so the next thing the devil tells Raymond Jameson to do is to go beat the fuck out of this Christian singer. And this Christian singer, I totally based off the Christian singer Carmen. I don't know if you guys know who the fuck Carmen is, but this is exactly the character in this book. So basically, the devil tells Raymond to go cut Carmen's tongue out of his mouth. Because he's singing Christian songs, and the devil just can't fucking have that bullshit. So Raymond's like, why the fuck not? So Carmen is doing a concert in the next town over, and Raymond finds out which hotel he's staying at, and then he hides in the elevator shaft until Carmen comes in there with his bodyguard. Then he falls on the elevator shaft with a baseball bat, knocks both Carmen and the bodyguard out, and cuts Carmen's fucking tongue out of his head. Fucking runs out of the hotel, gets in his car, drives away, and just throws the tongue fucking in a field or some shit. Like it's Lorena Bobbitt with her husband's dick. Needless to say, fucking Carmen never sang again. Then we're on to chapter 6, The Dark Road. So then the next thing you know, the devil's all like, you gotta kill a dude. And basically, it was this dude named Mark Jacobs who was taking poor kids over to the rich neighborhood so they could play on the rich motherfucking playgrounds. And the rich motherfuckers were like, hell no, don't bring your little poor bastards over here. This is for our rich little motherfuckers. And so Raymond Jameson goes to this dude's house, fucking knocks him on the fucking head with a rock, and then puts him in the pool so he'll drown. Because obviously the devil hates it when poor kids play in the rich neighborhood, and the poor kids never fucking got to go back to the rich neighborhood ever again because Raymond Jameson killed this dude. Then we're on to number 7, The Perfect Place. And this time, the devil tells Raymond Jameson to go to Pig in the Basket grocery store and kidnap some dude and then crucify him. And the Pig in the Basket is definitely based off Piggly Wiggly, which is a chain of grocery stores here in the South. Hard to believe they would actually name a grocery store Piggly Wiggly, but they did. So Raymond goes and kidnaps this poor bastard, and he takes him out in the woods, and he fucking crucifies his ass, and the guy's fucking sitting there in agony, and the guy's like, I have to tell you something, but before he can tell him, like the devil takes over the guy's body, and basically tells Raymond, you did great, kid, one more task to go, and you're gonna be the Antichrist. It's gonna be fucking awesome, dude. And the devil leaves the guy's body, and the guy's dead. The guy never got to tell Raymond the shit he was going to tell him. And I go into great detail about how awful crucifixion is. This group suffers greatly. It's some fucked up shit. So then we're on to chapter 8, The Knowing. And the devil tells Raymond Jameson, you gotta do one more thing for me. You gotta kill your bitch-ass Christian mom, motherfucker. And Raymond's like, what? I ain't gonna kill my mom. And the devil's like, oh yeah, you are. If you wanna be my son, you better kill Christian mom, cause she a bitch. And so Raymond's like, okay, I'll do it. So then Raymond goes and tries to kill his mom, but he can't fucking do it because he lost her and shit. So instead he throws her arm around him and he says, I love you, Mom. And then Raymond becomes a fucking pussy, quits doing demon shit. So then for a while, everything's chill as fuck. You know, Raymond's just chilling with his mom. Everything's going well. They're digging each other. Everything's groovy. And then all of a sudden, there's a fucking knock on the door. Raymond opens it. Bam! Some motherfucker hits him in the head and shit. And he's knocked out. Next thing you know, he wakes up and he's being crucified. And he's like, oh, hell no. I can't believe the devil betrayed me and shit like this. I guess the guy I crucified must have been the guy before me, and the same thing that happened to him has now happened to me. And then he's like, wait, dude, I have to tell you something. But before he does, the devil takes over his body and doesn't let him tell the dude. And then he's fucking dead. Raymond's fucking dead. That's how the book ends. The book ends with the motherfucker dying. He's dead as fuck. And the last page, Raymond Jameson goes to hell. This is him in fucking hell here. He's one of the wandering, miserable spirits dying and being tortured in fucking hell and shit. So let this be a lesson to you all. Don't fucking worship Satan and shit. It can only go bad. I know it's a really bad book. I get it. I get it now. I was really fucking retarded then, but I'm feeling much better now. And if you want a copy of this book, there are probably only like 6 or 7 left in the world out there. If you can find a copy, good luck. If you ever meet me, I will definitely autograph this piece of shit for you. But hey, at least I wrote a fucking book. It was fun to do. Had a good time, so whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed that story. This has been 7 Deadly Sins by Michael Bishop, a.k.a. Dusty Smith. Fuck yeah!
It's time to judge my soul.